Originally built as an open cockpit sports car, the Cobra has now become a GT or
Gene Cook found the limits of adhesion as weather closed in. Has got the inside run on John Faulkner. Kevin Schwartz got up there nice and quick. NASCAR Racing is the defending Oscar champ, and he's well positioned in fourth. We've just seen Terry Whitehoon take the lead now from Kim Jane.
Gentlemen, start your engines. Folks, today I find myself at the Calder Park Thunderdome. It used to be the bastion of Oscar NASCAR racing in this country, and I've brought my Daytona here because... What's that racket? I'm trying to get something done. What the hell is this? Hang on a minute. I'm pretty sure that's a Daytona. I haven't seen one of them. I haven't seen one of them. Daytona? What's going on? My Godfather. Who's this? It's bloody Mick Hone, Infomoto's go-to racing guy, and a 1963 replica Daytona. And I've got my Daytona here as well.
Well, that's a coincidence.
What the hell were the odds of that?
How are you, Greg?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you.
There's a couple of fellas having I'm doing a little bit of a shoot on my Daytona here because of the banking here.
Yeah, I came here for the Daytona-esque banking.
The banking?
Yeah, it's the attraction.
On the same day?
Yeah, it's just a coincidence.
Other than the fact I know it's a Daytona and I know it has rich racing history, I'm pretty much a baby in the woods. Can you tell me about it?
Okay, technically it's a replica of a 1965 Daytona Cobra that ran at Le Mans and other sports car races. It's modern technology with an old look.
Yes.
Runs a LS7 Chev all aluminium engine, 500 horsepower.
500 horsepower?
Yep, it's a full carbon fibre body. So the whole thing weighs about 1,000 kilograms.
500 horsepower.
510 foot-pounds of torque.
Be reasonably nippy.
It's very strong.
Very strong.
Very strong. It's not boring.
I bet it's not boring. And these colours reminiscent of the period?
When Shelby ran the race team, Guardsman Blue was one of his factory colours, and that's exactly Guardsman Blue.
So they built this to basically win Le Mans at Le Mans?
They ran the open roads to Cobras, and top speed they just couldn't get over 160 miles an hour
because of the roof.
Aerodynamics, and then they floated and all that stuff. So a guy called Pete Brock in America worked for Carroll Shelby.
Fluky name, yeah.
Yeah, just a coincidence again. He designed the body on a Cobra chassis and made it with a roof and aerodynamic. It's got a cam tail and all that sort of stuff. And when they tested it, it was more like 190 miles an hour with the same car. There's a story about the cam tail.
Tell me, please.
They made the car without the cam tail. And the guys, they had a lot of famous drivers in those mid-60s Le Mans races, and they all complained about the car was squirrely at top speed, which means it just felt like it was moving a little bit.
Yes.
And they had a famous Shelby mechanic. He said, I think I can fix it. He got some tin snips and a bit of aluminium and formed a little duct that he riveted to the back of the body, and that fixed it. So
the glory days
the old days
racing.
When you could do that, you could, the mechanic would say, let's try this, and they'd do it straight away.
Yes.
So from there, then it incorporated it as a proper.
So it's just luck that it looks so grouse as well. Because if it hadn't looked ordinary, they still would have run with it, wouldn't they?
I think a lot of cars have got that similar style. I mean, there's Ferraris, there's it just was. They all look. If you look at them, they all look similar.
Yes.
And if you look at a 240Z or you look at all these other things, there's a similarity in them.
Yes. Yeah. It's what works.
Yeah. Yeah. And the big Chrysler V10 sports car. If you squint and look at it, it does look like a Daytona.
Yes. Yes. So just an excitement machine for the weekend for you.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a couple of regularity events and a couple of hill climbs, and
still a little bit of motorsport.
Yeah. Fun stuff. you know, nothing too serious.
Well, it used to be mainly two wheels with you. You know, you've forgotten more about bike racing than I'll ever know. But now we find you comfortably ensconced in four wheels.
Yeah, I mean, I think as you get older, you want to not go so close to the edge.
Absolutely. It'll be a
motorbike
wheelchair.
racing always is.
It's a wheelchair for us next, isn't it?
Yeah, we're getting closer.
Well, look, mate, I think it's a magnificent thing. 427 cubes of absolute pure joy. I'm thrilled that you've brought it out here by fluke, Mick.
Yeah, I was just driving by and I
It's
thought
quite
I'd drop
incredible.
by.
Now, Michael, you've shown off about your Daytona, and you have shown me up a bit. But what about this beast? What do you think about this big yellow girl?
I actually did ride a Triumph triple in the Castrol 6 Hour one year, and I thought it was fantastic. I love the feel, I love the sound.
T160.
Triumph Trident T160.
That's right.
It was a lovely bike. Finished 10th outright. The bike, I love the bike. I just love the feel of it. I love the sound of it.
The
handled
triple?
really well. Yeah, the triple, whether it's a 3-cylinder or a 6-cylinder, they've got a unique sound.
They have, yeah.
And I had a great year riding the Triumph.
Well, of course, Triumph has always been reasonably good at its marketing, and subsequent of some good success in the Daytona 200, they started calling their bikes Daytona, of course, as you know, not dissimilar to your car being called a Daytona sensibly, because it has history in that great place. Triumph also cashed in on that, and it has gone on to call many of its models a Daytona, so it's become like a major player. It's big, it's heavy, but it's fast. Top speed, 168 miles an hour, and I reckon it would just about do it. And they overbuilt it. That's the other thing. Blore said Triumph has a history, whether it's warranted or not, for unreliability, and I won't have it. So they overbuilt this, and it's seen in the plastics. Things like the plastics in it and the hardware is built like a brick outhouse. So the bike now, although I think there was around 5,000 made in the world, it's a fairly rare bike. If you look after one, they keep going, you know.
Yeah, I think that's common with a lot of bikes. If you look after it, most bikes I'm finding now are just people want them.
Yeah.
Older bikes.
Yeah, it still rides all right.
Yeah.
It's big, and it's, you know, you put it up against
Strong.
It doesn't feel like a 2020 bike, but look, I really love it, and I think there's a future classic there a little bit. It's never going to be worth $1 million, but very usable, very quick, and long sweepy stuff. It handles really well.
Yeah.
Round town, it's a pain in the ring.
Most bikes are.
Most bikes are. So I reckon the fact that we are here on this banking, just like at Daytona, with your Daytona, my Daytona, your t-shirt, your fly, I've got one too. I can't believe it. It's just like it was meant to be.
I think it was. So which way are we going?
The lap record is 30 seconds. The track goes that way.
We could go either way.
We can go either way.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. So it's a bit warm.
Yeah. Get off this bloody flat crap.
We'll do a U-E up here. It'll be fine.
I'm surprised, Mick. It's a nice place to be.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
You know, it's not a complete shake your bones out type car.
No. I reckon if I drove it to Sydney, I'd be able to get out of it.
I think you need earplugs.
Need earplugs.
Yeah. On the highway, it smooths out.
You wouldn't need earplugs if you and I were going together, Mick. We'd have a good old chat.
We would need earplugs.
Incredible, the banking on this place.
Yeah, it is extreme. Like, we're getting into the deepest part now. The faster you go, the more it smooths out.
Yes.
Slow speed, you feel like you're just falling off it, but fast, it tends to get neutral.
Look at that angle. I've got to hold my head sideways. I hope through the GoPro you guys can see what an incredible angle that is. It probably gets lost. Often steepness and stuff like that you can't see on.
Yeah, you don't get full appreciation of it, but you know, when you drive, you've got to have your head vertical.
Yes.
So the more the banking, the more you've got to twist your head, you know, to get your feeling of driving and lines, you've got to be vertical.
Yes.
Road racing or this,
Yes.
your vertical is the datum point you start with. So the more steep the angle, the more steep the car, the more you've got to twist your neck to do it.
Nothing like the sound of a V8 on a racetrack. I don't care who you are, if you don't get a tingle in a V8 on a racetrack, well, you may as well cash in your chips. Okay, let's have a little bit of a dip at some of this banking business. Let's do a lap. It is weird. It is weird. I have nothing but respect for the guys that race at places like Daytona after this, because it is a strange, strange feeling. You really want to climb up that hill. You come out here and the bike just wants to go straight up. You're spending a lot of your time working on your body language, but I can see how compressed and pushed down in the seat you must be at speed. I mean, I'm only tooling around here because I'm new to it, but wow, it is a hell of a feeling to push down where you feel like you should be pushing up. All the things that you know about riding a motorcycle sort of go out the window. So let's have a bit of a dip this time. Let's have a bit of a dip. So much fun. So much fun. Don't let the red mist descend, because I'm really new to this. And enjoying every second of it. A little bit too much, actually. Big boy, I had you.
Yeah, I was a bit worried. You were on the gas. There's no doubt about that. And the back was drifting.
The back was drifting.
Yeah.
Well, you've got it to be quick, Mick. You've got to drift.
That's something you learn from MotoGP. I reckon.
MotoGP, a little bit of superbike,
Yeah,
bucket
dirt
racing.
track, dirt track.
Yes.
Bit of everything.
But look, keep at it.
Yeah,
You'll be all right.
I'll get out a second soon, I reckon.
But in all seriousness, isn't it a strange feeling?
It's not natural.
It's not natural. It goes against all the physics that you were told at school.
Yeah, all that stuff about angles and when it's going to tip over. I mean, it's all going through the calculator, and you got no experience with it.
It's not good.
No, I like it.
Good on you, mate.
It's a good car.
And I'm rapt that the two Daytonas did a bit of Daytona.
Yeah, we had fun.
We had fun. That's what
It's
it's
a different
about.
angle. Yeah.
We have fun.